Hey folks, it's Matt once again. Welcome back to another wrestling video for, I would definitely say, definitely one of my favorite Royal Rumbles. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan do commentary, and it's hilarious. It's one of the best commentaries because Bobby the Brain Heenan knows Ric Flair, manages him, sort of his meal ticket, and the Royal Rumble at times he's losing his mind, and uh, I'll get to that. And just hilarious. Uh, Gorilla Monsoon threatening him, I'll leave a ring around your neck in a minute. So that was hilarious. And the matches before were not too bad. I mean, the new foundation, which was Owen Hart with Jim Neidhart versus Orient Express. It was a great sort of first pay-per-view for Owen Hart, where he got to show his skills, bat flips, kicks. Pretty much Owen was the aerial fast guy. Jim Neidhart was the power guy. Pretty fast-paced. Nice slingshot throw out of the ring. And then throwing Owen onto the guy to pin the Orient Express. New Foundation wins. Probably the only win they got, but it was a fun opening match. Then a little flashback showing that on a house show, the Mountie beat Bret Hart to win the IC belt. And then Roddy comes in to tell the Mountie to leave. Tries to help Bret Hart. Mountie attacks Roddy from behind. Roddy punches the Mountie. And you have an interview with Mountie, and you have an interview with Roddy. And the interview with Roddy was fun, where he's talking about how, the Monty said he'll take my this, and he'll take my, he said, I'll take Roddy's manhood. And Roddy goes, huh? I come here to fight. I don't know what you came here to do. Which I thought that was funny. I mean, I don't do it justice. Piper did a lot better. And you have the Mountie versus Roddy Piper. Fun match. Roddy beating the shit out of the Mountie. Does a bulldog, so running bulldog on the Mountie. There's a sleeper to beat the Mountie. Wins the Intercontinental Championship, which was nice because it's the only belt Roddy Piper ever won. And then I always remember the other match he had, which was, I don't know if it was on Superstars. I think this is one of those things I remember on a tape that my aunt had, which I don't have anymore. That Roddy Piper was fighting the Mountie, and the Mountie was shocking him, but it didn't do anything because the Mountie had one of those shock sticks. And Roddy Piper beat him. People were like, how come Roddy Piper didn't get hurt? And Roddy took off his shirt, and he had this thing called Shockproof. That's not this match, but it was another match I do remember. So that was fun, and nice to see Roddy Piper win the belt, and the IC belt. That was a nice, being a Roddy Piper fan, that was nice to see. The next match, Beverly Brothers versus Bushwhackers, honestly didn't need to be there. Beverly Brothers, their manager was genius, and Bushwhackers had this nerdy guy named Jameson with a tape on his glasses, and this is boring as shit. Easily the worst match on the pay-per-view. Useless, pointless, boring as fucking hell. Beverly Brothers win. Who gives a shit? I don't. Boring as fuck one. Next. Legion of Doom versus Natural Disasters. It was a fun one. Intimidation tactics at the beginning. The Legion of Doom loses via countout, but they keep their tag team belts, which I'm guessing would have led up to a rematch at WrestleMania, which that did not happen. I don't know if it was because Hawk, or was he in trouble with drugs, or he left, or I don't know what the whole deal is. If someone knows, please feel free to explain. But I know something happened. But this was a fun little match. And again, the Royal Rumble itself it's definitely one of my favorites. Ric Flair comes out number 3. Bobby the Brain Heenan gets his meal ticket. He's losing his mind. British Bulldog, $1 Million Man are number 1, number 2. And this is a lot of just extremely fun. I mean, at this time, yeah, it's such a great group of people. I mean, the last 5 people in the Royal Rumble was Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Sid Justice, who I like. Like I said before, I have a soft spot for the guy. And this was the first time that the Royal Rumble, well, usually Royal Rumble means you just win, yay. This was for something. This was for the belt, the championship belt. And whoever won the Royal Rumble became the champion. And just a lot of fun drama. Ric Flair really showed his stamina because he's in there for over an hour. He gets beat up a lot, but he does his own offense. It's just a lot of cool stuff in there. Having Undertaker in there, having Roddy Piper versus Ric Flair was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. And nice to see Piper versus Flair. They had good chemistry with each other. A lot of fun back and forth with each other. It's just a lot of people. You had Shawn Michaels in there. I think by this time he had broken up the Rockers. And just a lot of... Someone would be hitting Ric Flair, and Bobby the Brain here on counter would be like, no, you. And then someone would get the guy who's on Flair. He's like, oh, thank you. But then when the guy would attack Flair, it's like, oh, you, what are you doing? Like, for example, Roddy Piper, no, it's someone fighting Ric Flair. And Roddy Piper hits the guy who's on Ric Flair. And then Bobby the Brain's like, oh, I never thought I'd say this, but thank you, Roddy. Thank you. You know, that's not a skirt you're wearing. That's a kilt. That's definitely a kilt. And then Roddy Piper starts attacking Ric Flair. He's like, you no good, blah, blah, blah. You no good. See, I told you. It's a skirt. It's not a kilt. It's a skirt. So Bobby the Brain, he was hilarious. Gorilla Monsoon definitely had a great back and forth with them. All the times Ric Flair got close. Again, having Macho Man in there along with Roddy Piper and Sid. And then the ending is kind of weird in the fact that Sid, he takes out a lot of people, takes out Hulk Hogan, and then Hulk Hogan gets pissed like, why'd you take me out? And I'm thinking, because it's every man for himself. And Hogan, really at this point, kind of the bad guy would do this. In a way, Hogan is the bad guy in this. Because Sid did what anyone would do. Hell, Hogan did the same thing to Typhoon in the last Royal Rumble, which I didn't mention. I'll mention it now. In the last Royal Rumble, the Hogan won. His buddy was Typhoon, and he lifted Typhoon out of there. You didn't have Typhoon going, blah, 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 and pulling Hulk Hogan out. The same thing happens to Hogan, and then he acts like a baby. You should have pulled me out. What are you doing? I'm like, it's every man for himself. What are you supposed to do? It's not like that Royal Rumble where you have co-winners. Lex Luger and Bret Hart. And then Hogan's pulling Sid, and Ric Flair lifts him up, and then Ric Flair wins. And the crowd knew that. Meaning, they knew that Hogan was wrong. Because listen closely, and you will hear people chant, Sid, 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 Sid. Because Hogan was wrong. And this is really bad booking. It really is. Because it makes Hogan look like the bad guy. Or just like a big baby. A fucking baby. And Sid was in the right, and Sid got fucked over. It wasn't Hogan that got fucked over. Sid got fucked over. It's one thing to do it like the refrigerator, WrestleMania 2. That was fun because it was a good guy getting over on the bad guy. Big John Studd was the bad guy. Everyone thought of him as the bad guy, and the fridge was able to get one over on him. It was fun. It had great cheer. Here, Sid was a good guy before this. And this was, I guess, supposed to be beginning of his turn, but again, people yelling, Sid, Sid, Sid. And weirdly enough, in some of the programs, they alter the crowd. They do. They alter the crowd. When Hogan got thrown over, there were cheers. But when it got released later, it was altered. So now you hear boo, and you don't hear the Sid chant. I heard it on the thing I have. I heard the way it was there. People yell, Sid, Sid, Sid. But again, if you see in other places, they will alter that shit. In fact, they had Gorilla Monsoon do different commentary as well. So it showed the manipulation of WWF, kind of like what they have done with John Cena. That sometimes they'll actually pipe in, John Cena rules, or whatever the fuck it is. So it kind of a backfire on their part. I mean, they made Sid a bad guy anyway, and you go to WrestleMania 8, but man, they just... Sid was the good guy. Like, Sid was in the right, and people in that arena agreed. Plus, maybe it was like, hey, we have someone new and not just Hogan again, winning for a third year in a row. And really loud, you hear Sid go, I'll kill you. The Hogan. And again, I liked Sid. I always had a soft spot for him. So, and when he's yelling in his promo, it doesn't work. But in this, he's very quiet. He talks through his teeth, but he does it the right way. He's very quiet. And he's using every word the right way. Not screwing up. Not messing up. But being intense. And a bit of charisma when he's talking that quiet... the quiet, psychotic way. And honestly, he should have done that in every single promo, because that's the best way to do it for him. But, and then Ric Flair had a great interview after it. Woo! With a tear in my eye, this is the greatest moment of my life. Bob the Brain Heenan is going out of his mind that Ric Flair won. And just a lot of good story to the Royal Rumble. And that last five, again, Hulk Hogan, Sid, the up-and-comer, Ric Flair, Macho Man, Roddy Piper. It's like, well, and he's like, oh, will Piper win the championship too? So now he has the IC and the championship? Will Macho Man, who has come out of retirement, will he get to be champion again? Which he would at WrestleMania 8. Will Hulk Hogan... So it was a good story and a very fun commentary and a lot of great people involved in it. So definitely one of my top favorite Royal Rumbles. This was insanely exhilarating to watch. My favorite Royal Rumble so far. And definite bid plus. I can't say enough good things about it. This was great. And again, just the cast of people you have in there. You had, like I said, Sid. You did have Big Boss Man in there. You had Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake Roberts, Undertaker, Ric Flair. You had a lot of people involved with that, which was really cool. Really cool. I mean, hell, the picture I looked at is such a cool picture of the promotional. I mean, you got Sid, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Big Boss Man, Roddy Piper, Jake the Snake, the Legion of Doom, Undertaker, Sergeant Slaughter, Ric Flair. Just a great picture. But yeah, I can't say enough good things about this. I mean, it speaks for itself. It's a lot of fun. Really enjoyed this one. But yeah, not much more to say about that than that. Woo! But thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you later. Bye-bye.